it's sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
I'm gonna read the question first, and then I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll tell you what the comments were. Did anyone skip their cocktail hour and extend the reception? What did your guests do while you were taking photos, and do you think it was a good move?
Skip the cocktail hour and extend the reception. So probably the reason they're trying to do that is because a lot of resorts will say, okay, we skip the cocktail hour, we can use that same cost to add on an hour reception, right? Mm-hmm. That's the challenge, right? I think if you do a first look, I think it works out a lot better, because if you do a first look, then you can get the bride and groom photos done beforehand. So afterwards, all you have to do is knock through some family stuff, and you can kind of go right into reception with skipping the cocktail hour. If you're not doing a first look, though, you have to get all the family photos, wedding party photos, and bride and groom photos done in between the ceremony and the reception. It takes a while.
The way I read it, I kind of feel like she was planning on doing photos in between all that, because she specifically asked, what'd your guests do while you were taking photos?
Be bored.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me read the comment then, because a previous bride actually did this, and she said, we did an intermission instead of cocktail hour and added that to our reception. Our officiant announced, either go grab a drink at the lobby bar or freshen up and meet back at the reception at whatever time. I feel like it worked out pretty well and no one complained.
In the weddings that I've done as a photographer, that's how it was. They just said, okay, we're going to go take photos. You guys go to the lobby bar. The reception starts at this time. It's a little awkward, in my opinion. Somebody's got to make that announcement at the end, because otherwise all your guests are standing around like, what do we do now?
Actually, I attended a destination wedding that did that. We were at the ceremony on the beach, and they were like, okay, everyone go grab a drink. And some people went to the swing bar that was like actually near the beach. A few of us went to the lobby to go get a seat. A lot of the guys went and changed into shorts, but then it was kind of sporadic as people showed back up, and it wasn't, I felt like, an official announcement of the typical reception.
And especially, do you really want your guests changing into shorts?
Right.
It makes everything a lot more casual for the reception, which you probably spend a lot of money on as well. If it's for the right group, it can work out. But if you want to keep it formal, giving people that break, I see both sides, right? But I will say that in some of the weddings that we've done that at, it was really welcomed by the guests, particularly for weddings during the summertime.
Yeah.
When it's extremely hot and your guests are sitting out there just baking and sweating.
The wedding I did that one was a June wedding.
Yeah, yeah. So for your guests to have that time to come in and cool off a little bit and reset before, that's kind of nice. I like that.
And I feel like the other aspect to it too is if you know your guests are going to be partying, then you're going to probably want the extra hour of the reception anyways. So I feel it's like what your priorities are of what you really want out of your wedding day, because as the bride and groom yourself, you're really not there for cocktail hour. So if you want to soak up more of the reception, I could see it working.
And again, a lot of our brides complain because they miss the cocktail hour because they're taking photos anyway.
Exactly.
They're adding like a mariachi band, a steel drum band. They're adding some sort of element that, they're paying for to the cocktail hour, and they don't even get to see it because they're with the photographer the whole time.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it can be a good thing or be a bad thing. It really just depends on your group and what your vision of the wedding is, and kind of how you instruct guests as well. So if you don't want guests changing, you better tell them, because if they get that chance to change, they will.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, it would be so terrible, but I feel like that gives people the chance to almost like Irish goodbye if they wanted to for like a few hours, and then show up when the party's happening or something like that. Go and do whatever they want for a couple hours, and they're like, okay, now let's like go to the party. I mean, that'd be a terrible wedding guest, but I could totally see someone doing that. Know your group is the real advice.
Ashley's asking, did anyone reuse their bridesmaids' bouquets and move them to the table centerpieces for the reception? She's asking for photos to see her fiance's worried that they would look too small on the tables.
I'm trying to think about a normal size bouquet to an average size wedding table, and I could see it as alone it looking small, but you're probably not going to have just the bouquet. You'll probably have like candles, table number, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I feel like it would be fine. It'd be a cute little arrangement. And I also prefer it to be shorter, not super extravagant, because then you can't even like see over the table of who you want to talk to.
We have a lot of couples do this to save money, and I think it's a great idea. And look at the table.
And if you think of putting like what, bouquets, some flowers, table number, I feel like that'd take a good portion of the center, and you still need space for the chargers, the plates, the silverware, all that.
Like you said, I mean, some of the big elaborate centerpieces, you can't see the people across from you.
No.
Which makes it really difficult. Even with the table this size, the people sitting directly across from you can really be hard to hear in the environment when you've got the DJ playing and you've got a lot of ambient noise around you as well. So I think reusing the bridesmaids bouquet is a great idea. It's a great way to save some money. It's not as fancy and elaborate as the setups, the expensive centerpiece floral sets that you can pay for. When's the last time you went to a wedding and you're like, oh, can you believe those centerpieces? They were so basic.
Only time I've commented on a centerpiece is when it's too big and I can't see the person that I'm trying to look at.
Do centerpieces add to the ambiance of the event? I will say, admit they do, but are they nearly as important as the cafe light? No.
No.
Are they nearly as important as the DJ's AV setup, the dance floor? Those are the things that are really adding the ambiance. I think the flowers, I don't think people are really going to notice if you go, I mean, if you go over the top, yeah, okay, it's cool. In the end, nobody really cares. Yes, you can move your flowers. It's not going to be as grand of a setup as others, but it's a great way to save some money. I don't think your guests are really going to care all that much. But if you want to have an elaborate, beautiful, stunning wedding, you probably want to go over the top and spend a lot of money on flowers.
Yeah, but I feel like it is a really smart idea just to save money. And actually, I've been seeing a lot in Facebook groups recently about couples bringing candles themselves too. So if you were to move flowers over and bring your own candles, that'd pretty much be like the cheapest way to do it.
Yes, but remember, many places do not allow real candles.
Well, the flicker fake, even if you wanted real candles, I feel like that would not work in Mexico unless you had like it totally in a dome. Otherwise, the wind is just going to take it.
The wind takes them out immediately, and some brides have really been stuck on using real candles, and I do not recommend it in any way, shape, or form.
No, and you're not going to be able to tell in photos.
Not at all. The fake candles give the same level of ambiance. It's totally fine. Maddie was asking, what's everybody's experience with room blocks been with their rooms being close to each other? She knows they can't guarantee it, but they want to know what other people's experience was. Every bride wants all her guests close together, unless there's some weird, like, I can't stand my mother-in-law, please make her room far, far away, which I've absolutely run into.
Yep.
Most of our brides do want their rooms close together, and we always request it, but we know there's really only 1-2 properties that I know of that will guarantee the specific location.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't think of many that will actually guarantee, because there's just so many things that play into it. Like the room category type alone, that's going to drastically change where you're at. Check-in, check-out dates, and just like availability of the resort's room and all of that is pretty much impossible to ask everyone to be in one building at the exact same time.
There's just too many variables that go into it. Resorts are constantly doing renovations.
Right.
So they may shut down buildings, entire buildings at a time. You as a guest wouldn't even know what's going on because you're not in that building. You don't see the construction crews going in and working in the rooms. But, you know, there's a lot of logistical things that can happen.
Well, my last question, she says, we're getting married in less than 4 months. We didn't do a room block for the 90 people invited. In parentheses, what's done is done. Please don't come in the comments saying we should have done a room block. And now the resort is almost at 100% capacity for the weekend that we're getting married. Probably 60% of our guests haven't given us an answer if they're able to come or not, and RSVPs are due in a month and a half. The groom side of the family, probably 30 people, is staying off resort because with the limited number of rooms, the prices have skyrocketed. The resort won't give us a straight answer of what will happen if less than 80% of our guests stay off-site and told us they can give us a firm answer once RSVPs are in, but that will be 2 months before the wedding. With invites already going out, moving the wedding will be a challenge, but I can't figure it out if it would be better to just cancel entirely. Can anyone give advice or words of wisdom?
I've got all kinds of questions. Like, one, why are your RSVPs due only a month and a half? Who told you to set the RSVPs at that time? How many months before the event?
She said RSVPs are due in a month and a half, and the post said getting married in less than 4 months. So due 2 months before the wedding.
So she asked for RSVPs 3 months prior. That's pretty common with our room blocks, right? When we do a room block, if it were me in this spot, I honestly would probably reschedule the wedding to a different time and or look at a different property and do a room block. Your guests haven't gotten back to you, and that's because we gave them a RSVP date of 2.5 months prior to the event date. Anytime you give our guests an RSVP date, they will wait until that last minute to give you an answer. They're not going to give you an answer early. Everybody waits until the last minute. So you're kind of sitting in a spot where you already said your groom's family and all is staying off site. The resort, we know, has a rule that says 80% of the guests have to be staying on site in order to attend the wedding. The resort's probably like, well, we can be flexible on that because they're sold out anyway, and they're not sold out with your guests, so they literally don't have anywhere for your guests to go. So the resort probably was like, well, we can handle the wedding. They don't want to necessarily upset the bride by saying they can't handle the wedding. But at the same time, we know that, all-inclusive resorts are not in business to be a venue for guests who are staying elsewhere.
Right. Yeah, my thoughts were, just because of how many people were already staying off site, was maybe just like stay at the resort, keep your room reservation, cancel the wedding, and go for an off-site venue.
I like that idea a lot. If you can get an off-site venue that's available, that may be an avenue to keep the same date. It does defeat the whole purpose of doing a destination wedding, because a lot of times people do destination weddings so you can all be together. And if everybody's staying in different locations,
I feel like she wasn't guided in the right direction, and now it's like, it wouldn't be fun to redo all of it and actually go through a room block and do it properly, because she's less than 4 months out of actually supposed to be getting married, and it's like, now you want to push it probably another year and go through all that again. So I feel like if I were her, I would try and find an offsite venue, keep the date, the people who are ever booked are going to be there, and just go with who it's going to be.
It's a tough spot, and of course she's excited about doing it. The sad reality is there are a number of quote-unquote destination wedding experts, because all it takes to be a destination wedding expert is to call yourself one on social media. But there are too many people in this industry that they will literally never recommend doing a room block.
I feel like this highlights a really important part that I always mention to brides when they're picking out their room block contract. I always say do majority of the lowest room categories, because those are the quickest to get booked within wedding groups in general, and just outside retail too. So if like push comes to shove and you do need more rooms, you're probably only getting the higher end, more expensive rooms.
As the resort fills up, the remaining rooms become more expensive. That's just the way it is.
Kind of sounds like she didn't want to do a room block, so the whole scenario could just happen all over again if she were to move the wedding date.
There's no reason not to do a room block. There's literally no risk to you.
4 months out, hopefully she figures it out. It'd be a good idea for her to find an actual wedding planner, tell her the scenario, timeline, and ask what they would recommend.
Tough spot to be in, but I just don't know why you wouldn't have gone and done the room block from the start. Thank you for joining us on Lunchtime Live. If you do have any questions or need any guidance at all regarding doing a destination wedding, send us a DM or go ahead and message us, comment on here, ask your questions. We'll answer them live next week, and we'll see you then.
Sunny down in Mexico, the sun gets high.